Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes to the sign of Capricorn. That's Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of February 2025. Before I get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, thank you for sticking it out with me. It's been a very interesting journey, has it not? To my patrons on Patreon, thank you for your continued support. It means the world to me. And for my new members on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for becoming a member. I know we're going to have a lot of fun together. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's Charlie. Charlie has something to say. Charlie, come over here. Charlie. I just got started. Of course, as soon as I start, Charlie starts squawking. All right, so before we get to the astrology, and I will timestamp it, so if astrology is not your thing and you just come in for the card read, you'll be able to go right to that card read with the timestamps. But I do want to point out that in 2025 we moved into a new vibration. We moved into a 9 vibration. 9 is the vibration of separating the wheat from the chaff. It's a tying up. It's like the end of a cycle, and it's connected to this card, the Hermit card. Hermit is associated with Virgo. So for those of you born in the 60s, you have Pluto in Virgo. This will be a very busy time, a busy year for us. 9 is a vibration of healing, forgiveness, unconditional love, humanitarianism, all things that are much required as we face 2025. Now, February is the second month, and so we look at the 2 vibration, and in the tarot, the 2 is the High Priestess. She is connected to the moon in the chart, and she's a very high up on the tree, and she is on the path that connects, direct connection from spirit to the heart. So from the crown to the heart, this is about revelations and downloads. You will, things will be revealed to you this month, whether or not you act on them. That's not really what the month is about. The month is more about observation. And then when we add these 2 vibrations together, we get the vibration of the month and the year, which is an 11. That is the Justice card. Oh, goodness gracious. Here he comes. All right, there he is. He's better now. The Justice card. So this is about balancing of the scales. You may see some justice this month. I'm sure many of you were going, that'd be nice for a change. Hey, Charlie. He's good now. He's not going to cry anymore. So we can expect something to be resolved, perhaps, with this energy. Okay. So that's just a general energy of the month. And we're going to look at the astrology for Capricorn next. So let me share that with you. All righty. All right. So we're going to go to Capricorn. Yes. And I'm going to make this a little bigger so we can see what's going on. Okay. So just a note, just a little note about how to look at this chart. This is where all the planets are and are moving into. In some cases, you see 2 suns, 2 Mercuries. That means that they've moved into signs. So, things in yellow are air. Things in blue are water. Things in red are fire. And things in green, there's some green here. Not much green, though, however, there's 2 greens. That's earth. So you can look, at a glance. You notice that most of the activity occurs underneath the horizon line of the chart here, meaning that a lot of what you're experiencing is sort of more internally oriented as opposed to people actually seeing it in the, out in the open, so to speak. You can notice there's a preponderance of water in this chart. So there is a lot of water this month. The second most prominent element that we'll experience in the month of February is air. And we have a little bit of earth and a little bit of fire. Now, the month starts what? What? I'm sorry. Capricorn, of course, is cardinal air. Its mantra is I utilize, and your ruler, of course, as you all know probably, is Saturn. Saturn is still in Pisces, guys, but it is going to be moving into Aries for a short period this year, and then move back into Pisces to finish up, and it will be out of Pisces by the beginning of 2026. So we still have some Pisces energy here. For you, it is in your third house. Your third house is your logical mind, and with all this Pisces and all this water, the sun, Mercury, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, at least for the first 4 days of the month, and of course the north node of the moon. The moons change signs in January, going from fire, air to water, earth. So the north node is in Pisces, and so we're being asked to move in the direction of that, and that is really sort of the feeling mind or the psychic mind, or it actually can be somewhat of a confusing time for Capricorn, because Capricorn is very pragmatic and practical, and Pisces is not. But it does open you up to you're more psychic through this period anyway. Okay. Um, so we have Venus. First thing to happen in the month is Venus ingressing into Aries. As I said, that happens on the 4th. So we have a little bit of Venus in Pisces. And then she moves into Aries. And this is important because Venus will be undergoing a retrograde cycle in a few months. That retrograde is going to be happening in the sign of Aries and in the sign of Aries and Pisces. And so we're actually in the shadow of that Venus retrograde this month. But Venus is retrograde for about 40 days. So that's further into the year. But it is significant that now Venus is in Aries, because she's actually going to spend a whole lot of time in Aries, meaning that she's going to be spending a whole lot of time in your 4th house, which is a house of home. Venus is aesthetics. And with Venus in Aries, you may decide that you want to redo or rejuvenate or redo a room, or do something, make something new, make something a little more passionate even. Venus in Aries can be quite passionate. We have a Jupiter station. It stations direct at 12 of Gemini. Jupiter's been sitting in your house of health. And so this is a time, if you've been having health issues, or perhaps things have been hard to diagnose. Because of that, things should start to move forward once Jupiter moves forward. And I believe that's happening on the same day as Venus, so right at the beginning of the month. We have a full moon in Leo. Full moons are always emotionally full, we'll say full. Can I put you down? Can I? Can I put you down? Can I put you down? Yeah? Okay. All right. There you go. He'll cry till I let him out. All right. So, where was I? Where was I? Was full moon in Leo. Figure, right? With the cat on my shoulder. So the full moon happens in the 8th house with the sun in the 2nd house. And we have Uranus squaring this full moon. Uranus has been very active with the moons, mainly because the moons have been close to the degree of Uranus. And so that's in a way coincidental. It's not always that way, but it is that way now, and that's all that matters, right? So we have some awareness around our values and our shared values here. And with Uranus, there can be something surprising creativity, maybe something surprising around your children, or maybe something surprising about romance. We can't cut that one out, okay? Mercury is the first planet to move into of the Aquarius planets. Mercury is the first one to move into Pisces. That happens on the 14th, and then 4 days later on the 18th. The sun moves into Pisces, and then we're really Pisces Palooza. So Pisces becomes more concentrated towards the end of the month. And of course, we have the North Node going through Pisces. So we're going to actually have a Venus, I mean, a um, conjunction of Pisces. The North, or maybe it already happened. Anyway, just a lot of Pisces energy. Pisces can be very idealistic. Um, and but can also be a tad delusional. So you don't tend towards delusion because of your practicality, Capricorn. But you may notice third house that neighbors or siblings or cousins or things like that, you might notice a little bit more of that energy around the people that you know from the way back, right? That third house is the people, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, the people we grew up with, the people we went to school with, that kind of energy. All right. Mars stations direct. Mars stations direct. That happens on the 23rd of February. It's been retrograde since the beginning of, hold on one second. I have to let the cat out before he knocks the door down. Um, okay, 1 minute. I apologize. Um, so Mars is stationing direct on the 23rd. As I said, it's been retrograde since the beginning of December. It's December 6th to be exact. At that point, it was in Leo, 7 degrees of Leo, and through its retrograde period, it's moved all the way back to 17 degrees of Cancer. Now, normally, when Mars moves through the zodiac and it's not retrograde, it might spend about 6 weeks in a sign, but when it's retrograde, it stays in that area of the chart for about 6 months. And so Mars retrograde can be somewhat frustrating, aggravating, and it's happening in the houses, the eighth and the seventh for you that deal with your relationships. So if your relationships have seemed a bit fraught, it's very possible that's Mars. Things should start to move forward when Mars starts to move forward, but it's still in Cancer and it still has to go over all that ground that it had gone retrograde over. So there's things that still need to be dealt with, but it's more in the resolution phase of that. So if there's any issues that you've been having with partners, that could be marriage partners, it could be business partners, or intimate partners in the case of the eighth house, or people you share your resources with, that is continuing to develop, and try to avoid getting too frustrated about that. Um, we do also have a new moon in the sign of Pisces. That's going to be your third house. That may be a good time to plant the seed for learning something new. The third house is a learning house, as is the ninth house. And so if there's a field of study or a course of study you might be interested in taking, this would be a good time. I'm going to be having well, actually I'm going to be doing a class on the phases and aspects in astrology. So if you're interested in something like that, you could join the class. It's starting the first week of February. So um, you can just go to my website. It'll be listed on the events page. So that, you don't have to do that, but there's a suggestion in case you need a class to go to. I'm sure there are plenty of classes out there. All right. Of course, Pluto now is out of your sign. Ah, after being there for 16 years. So Pluto's going to be sitting in that second house for years and years and years and years, which Pluto in the second house can sometimes be um, lots and lots of money and power. So that, isn't a bad thing as long as you utilize your money and power for the good, right? And of course, if you're watching me, we know, of course, you're going to do that. All right. So that's the story for that. Let's stop the share. And I'm going to be using the Guardians of the Night Tarot by MJ Cullinane. I'm sorry, MJ. She's the woman who does the Crow Tarot, This is her newest deck. It's got all animals in it. It's pretty cool. All right, so what does Capricorn need to be aware of in February? What is the message for Capricorn in February? Hmm. Really, I think February, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, is a short month, but I think it's sort of a month that we um, kind of go into hiding almost, if you can, if you can. Growing up in the Northeast, February was always one of the snowiest months, so we would usually get a snow day, but it hasn't snowed for a long time. And not enough to have a snow day anyway for a long time here in the Northeast, at least where I am now, which is unusual because I there was more snow up here when I first moved up here 30 years ago. All right, so we start with the King of Swords. The King of Swords. So this a judgment is coming down. Just watching the cat out the window. He's jumping around in the snow. Judgment is coming. The King of Swords can be well, of course, here we have the King of Swords as an owl, as wisdom, an ability to see 360 degrees. Um, but this is a card of good judgment. It can also be a legal matter or something to do with the police. So that may be something, in your immediate environment as we start the month. The crossing card is the Seven of Cups, which is so many options, right? Difficult to choose. But are all those options just like pie in the sky? So I think with the King of Swords and then the Seven of Cups crossing it, is your challenge is to be able to see clearly through the fog, through the mist. There's a lot of uh, fluffing up of things, like a lot of dust. It could be a dust storm, it could be a smoke, it could be snow. It's just things aren't clear. It's hard to see clearly in this month. We have underneath it is being at a crossroads or a little bit of indecision. It's like you're trying to make a decision. Perhaps you're trying to go in a direction, but things aren't quite clear enough yet. Let's see what's in the past. Oh, that's interesting. We have the High Priestess in the past. That's one of the one of the cards for the month, right? This is something that's been revealed to you, and whether or not you've decided to speak it, maybe that's the decision. You found something out, something has been revealed to you, and you're trying to decide whether to say something or not. So in the sky, which can be the outer world, we have the Ten of Swords, and this is like everything is falling apart. It's the end. It's destruction. The outside world is not a friendly place these days, is it? The immediate future, or what I might call the card of the month, because this is just for the month, we get the Six of Cups. So there's some nostalgia, maybe getting together with family. I think that would be time well spent. Reminiscing about the past. We have two elephants here. They never forget anything. And I think that may be helpful. Um, how it's seen from the outside, the fool. Um, People could see you as foolish or on a completely new path. The fool can be being on a completely new path, a leap of faith, as it were. Um, your domestic situation, the Page of Wands. So messages coming to you at home. They can be messages from spirit, or they could just be a letter in the mail. Hopes and fears, full illumination. Now, I'm assuming you're hoping for that. Outcome, oh, the Two of Wands. Yeah, so waiting, like sort of like starting a new project, just sort of standing in the doorway of something new coming. Fire is creative, it's commerce, so new opportunities, and you're sort of imagining. It's like you're focusing into the future, utilizing your creative imagination with that. And then we have the chariot. So things are going to move very, very quickly. So I would say that whatever you focus on, wherever you see yourself going, um, it was going to happen faster than you think. So be very particular about what you're putting out there as far as I would like this or I would like that or I see this or I want to create this. Whatever it happens to be, try to work out the details as best you can and then always add at the end or better, right? To harm none. That's like a witch thing, but it's like don't limit the universe, be as specific as you can be, and then allow the universe to fill in the spaces. Underneath it, we have the Ace of Swords, which is about decisions. The Four of Cups, which is a little bit, again, we have these cards about decision, and then we have the emotions attached to it. And the Four of Cups may want to not make the decision or not focus on that. They might be distracted by something else. Oops. And the Lover's choice. So the choice is yours. The choice is yours. And there are no bad choices, really. I would say, a choice is a choice, and that's the direction you're going to go. If you made a different choice, you would just go in a different direction and learn the lessons you need to learn. So I don't feel like it's like you got to decide. What I would say, though, is really maybe not to decide until things are clearer. And I think getting together with family or friends from the past, perhaps, that third house is all activated. Maybe it's time to go to like your high school reunion or a grammar school reunion and just sort of feel things out in that way, or even just a family reunion. February is not generally like a family time because we've done the family thing and for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're like, okay, that's good. But a little more family might not hurt. All right, so that's what I see for you. I'm going to pull a um, Starseed Oracle as well and see if that corresponds or if we get a different message. Okay. Activated Earth. Activated Earth. Okay. I have to find the little book. Oh, there it is. I don't want to tell you what my desk looks like. I'll hold the card up. It's a beautiful card. Okay, here we go. Isn't that interesting? Your Earth sign, and this is saying you're activated, and that may be because of the High Priestess in the past. Power places, ley lines, trust where you are led. Ley lines are invisible pathways on the land along which energy travels. They can be sensed when we tune into them with our subtle senses, also known as spirit paths. They've been compared to the meridian systems of the body used in Chinese medicine, and they link sacred sites, stone circles, burial mounds, and places of worship worldwide. In the Australian Aboriginal culture, song lines were the paths traveled by the creator beings as they made the land and the sea during the dreaming. These paths were recorded in the traditional songs and dances of the people, allowing them to access information about the land's history and to travel safely across great distances. Many believe that when we visit such sacred points on earth, something is activated within us. Some also believe that by connecting with the land with devotion at these sacred sites, something is activated within the planet as well. So this is suggesting that you travel to a sacred site. And, A sacred site could be, Stonehenge if you happen to live there, or even Notre Dame if you happen to live there. But it could even just be a sacred place on your own land, a special spot, a special tree, maybe, and maybe connected to childhood if you have the ability. Like I remember I sat up on that tree and dreamed the life I wanted to have. Like that kind of thing is also a sacred space. So so these cards pretty much say ground yourself, connect with the earth. You're an earth sign. It's always going to empower you. And there really is sort of a little visitation from the past here that you'll be working with and working through. So that's what I see, Capricorn. So take care of yourself. This is a time of self-care for sure. Um, a time when things won't be clear until they're clear. And once they're clear, you'll know what to do. So that's the story I see for you, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this helpful. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again next month for the Tarot Scopes for May. Until then, you can always check out my morning romps through the garden, which right now is covered in snow and crunchy. No flowers, just sticks. When I talk about the astrology of the day, among other things that I do on this channel. So you can always check it out, subscribe, and ring the bell thing, and then hopefully you'll hear from me because sometimes I think YouTube might have it out for me. Probably not, but I don't know. Anyway, take care, everyone. Namaste.